Hello and welcome to Concordia University, Wisconsin. You have accessed this video as part of the requirement for acting as a cooperating teacher. We are providing this seminar on video for your convenience. It is our goal to develop good cooperating teachers to fulfill the Wisconsin Department of Instruction rules for teacher certification. We also hope to create partnerships with host teachers and schools to pursue development of future teachers. Please fill out the worksheet associated with this video. Here's an outline of what you will be seeing in the video. 1. Qualifications and responsibilities of the cooperating teacher. 2. The role of the university supervisor. 3. Student-teacher responsibilities. 4. Find points from Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction and Concordia University, Wisconsin. 5. You will be seeing problem-solving ideas and strategies. 6. Starting out positive and what that means. 7. Wisconsin State Teaching Standards and the application of student teachers.
As a university, we are a gateway to help students become teachers. We understand that it is our responsibility to shape each student teacher as a professional in the school setting. A university supervisor will be assigned to each student teacher, and secondary candidates may also have a content supervisor. The 5 responsibilities of the university supervisor are as follows. Number 1, act as a liaison between the cooperating teacher, student teacher, and university. Number 2, provide assistance to the student teacher. Number 3, fulfill the role of the university representative. Number 4, guide the cooperating teacher, usually a 3-way meeting between the supervisor, cooperating teacher, and the student teacher. And 5, evaluate the student teacher. Even though we put all the pieces in place, not every student teaching placement is going to go smoothly. What then? As the cooperating teacher, you will identify a concern or issue and attempt to resolve it directly. In the event that an issue is not resolved within an adequate amount of time, you should contact the university supervisor. The university supervisor should respond in a timely manner and address the concern. If you do not get a response from the supervisor, contact the Office of Field Experience for assistance. What happens if the problem persists or the problem is severe? If this happens, there will be a meeting at CUW. The department chair, early childhood, elementary, or secondary, will attend along with the student teacher, cooperating teacher, and university supervisor. The goal is to get everything out on the table and agree on a resolution. At times, the dean of the School of Education may be asked to attend. Most often, the meeting will be the first in a set of steps as part of an action plan to resolve the issue. On rare occasions, the university may pull the placement. It would always be our goal to work things out for the benefit of all participants.
There are 5 things a student teacher does in advance of university supervisor's first visit. Fill out blank seating charts with names and characteristics. Prepare a list of materials used in the classroom. Make a copy of the class schedule. List the rules, routines, and regulations used in classroom management by the teacher. I will discuss these with you early in my placement too. Observe 1 boy and 1 girl in each of the levels of high, average, and low ability. I will note behaviors that will be helpful to teaching strategies.
Hi, I'm Eric Everts, a middle school teacher at First Emmanuel Lutheran School in Cedarburg.
And I'm Kirsten Howard, a soon-to-be student teacher.
Cooperating teachers have an incredibly important job. Many times student teachers model themselves after their cooperating teacher and get a lot of ideas from them.
Cooperating teachers have a lot of influence on us, the student teachers.
All right, class, so today we're looking at Pythagorean theorem. We have our 2 legs of our right triangle, A and B, and our hypotenuse here is C, and we can find the missing side by doing A squared plus B squared, and that will equal C squared. Does anybody have any questions on that? Yes, Matt.
Do you hold a regular Wisconsin license or its equivalent for the subject you are teaching?
Wow, Matt, that was a totally random question you had just asked. But yes, I do have my Wisconsin license. Thank you for asking. So our Pythagorean theorem again. Our A is 4, our B is 2, and then that's going to let us find our C. Does anybody have any questions from here? Yeah, Kylie.
Mr. E, do you have at least 3 years of teaching experience with at least 1 year in the current school or school district?
Wow, Kylie, that was a strange question. Yes, I actually have 12 years of experience all at this school in this district. So, all right. Moving on here, we do our 4 squared, that's 16, and our 2 squared is 4, and that's going to equal our C squared. Does anybody have any questions on where I'm at right now? Yes, Benny.
Mr. E, have you completed a course or a video seminar on the supervision of student teachers?
Wow, what an interesting question, Benny. I actually have completed a video seminar on supervising student teachers. So, all right, going back to this, 16 plus 4 then would give me 20, and that'll equal C squared. Does anybody have a question on how I've gotten to this point now? Yeah, Chase.
Do you consider yourself an excellent teacher, a great mentor, and a flexible, open person?
Well, I guess, but what do you mean by a great mentor?
Well, I already know you're a great teacher, but do you think you could teach student teachers the skills that you have?
Yeah, I guess I could share my skills with student teachers and teach them what I know, but very weird questions. You know what, I'm just going to give you guys your assignment. I don't want to get any more questions. So here's your assignment in your book. I'll be back at my desk. Hello? Concordia University? A student teacher? Yeah, I guess I could take a student teacher. Okay, bye.
Student teacher, yes!
So in review, the state of Wisconsin has 3 requirements for being a cooperating teacher. The first of which is that you hold a regular Wisconsin license or a similar license in the subject area in which you teach. The second requirement is at least 3 years teaching experience with at least one of those years in the current school or school district in which you're teaching. And the third requirement is to complete a course or video seminar on the supervision of student teachers. Besides the state requirements, Concordia also has requirements for their cooperating teachers. The first of which is that they should be an excellent teacher. Number 2, they should be a great mentor. So not necessarily great with teaching skills, but somebody that is willing to work with a student teacher and is going to share ideas and really nurture that student teacher. And the third one is an open and flexible person willing to open up their classroom for their student teacher. Up next, we have some examples, or maybe non-examples, of how to act as a cooperating teacher. Hello.
Hi, I'm Miss Howard.
Yeah, here, just have a seat right here. You can just sit in that chair there.
You should always welcome your student teacher as a professional.
I thought I had made this great math lesson, but none of my students were listening or answering any of my questions.
Oh, were you talking to me? Sorry.
Talk teaching with them. Share with them. Advise them.
Help them understand that line between being friendly to students.
Hey, Miss Howard, I saw you change your relationship status on Facebook to in a relationship.
What's going on?
I had a really great date this weekend, and yeah, so I had to change my status.
And being their buddies.
All right, so first hour tomorrow, then you've got it covered. I might get here sometime during second hour, I'm not sure. But you've got first hour, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Okay, well, here are my lesson plans for the first week.
Oh, that's great, thank you.
Model professionalism, expect professionalism, and review all lesson plans.
Here's my Concordia lesson plan.
Oh, man, you know what? I actually just have my student teachers put them on that, so there you go.
Student teachers are expected to use appropriate lessons plans for the license throughout their student teaching experience.
Yeah, Hannah.
Who's that?
Who's who?
Her.
Oh, that's Miss Howard, our student teacher. She's just going to sit back there for 3 weeks, and then I'm going to take off for a while, and she'll teach you guys the rest of the quarter.
Involve student teachers in some way on their first day. Then, as time progresses, generally student teachers begin teaching full class periods, and they progress to full day teaching.
Okay, so who can give me an example of a verb? Yes?
Jump.
Jump. Who can give me an example of a noun? Yes.
House.
House.
Turn your class over to the student teacher and let them be full-time teacher for at least 10 full days.
Which unit do you want me to start with?
Oh, right. Sorry about that. Actually, I wanted you to cover that. There you go.
Allow your student teacher to teach at least one full unit.
There are several ways to find information about being a cooperating teacher. The first is by watching this video. The second is by referring to the Student Teaching Handbook. In the Student Teaching Handbook, you will find information regarding the student teaching process. If you look in the Student Teaching Handbook Appendix, you will see examples of forms like the Early Childhood Education Program CUW Lesson Activity Plan, the Elementary Lesson Plan, the Lesson Plan Template for Secondary Education Program at CUW, and when and how do I turn over the classroom to the student teacher. The last way to get information is through the university supervisor. Your student teacher will give you their contact information. Please ask any questions and clarify anything that you do not understand.
There are 5 different ways that you will observe and evaluate your student teacher. Number 1, talk to the student teacher daily, giving them feedback on their lessons. 2, look at their lesson and unit plans, share ideas with them. 3, each week you will need to evaluate them using a lesson observation form appropriate for their license level, whether it's early childhood, elementary, or secondary. 4, formally review the student teacher's progress at the midpoint of the placement and again at the end of the placement. At the very end, you will also fill out a grade evaluation. The cooperating teachers have a voice, the university has a voice, and the department chair would make a final decision if there is no consensus. Finally, remember that student teachers must attend all teacher work and meeting days. Thank you for your time.
We hope you enjoyed this student teaching video.
Here are some points worth remembering. Student teachers will have their own medical insurance. We also carry professional liability insurance through CUW. Student teachers will have their own transportation, and we are expected to work full teacher days. This includes before and after school meetings. We will work off of your academic calendar and attend teacher work days. This means the Concordia calendar no longer applies to us. We are expected to teach 1 complete unit and 10 full days at each placement. It is beneficial to me and my future as a teacher if I can teach more. The student teacher will set up all scheduled visits with the supervisor. The Department of Public Instruction requires 2 visits per quarter by the evaluator. However, my university supervisor will visit and evaluate me 3 times during the placement.
The School of Education at Concordia University aligns its education program to the Wisconsin Teacher Standards as outlined in PI 34.02. These standards provide a focus for our student teachers as they complete their requirements with you in your school setting. In addition, they act as a set of goals to which we are all striving for improvement as we become better educators this semester and in our future years.
The first standard, subject matter competency, addresses what we teach. It states, the teacher understands the central concepts, tools of inquiry, structures of the disciplines he or she teaches, and can create learning experiences that make these aspects of the subject matter meaningful to the students. My passion is learning. Music has always interested me, and now I want to share my passion with the students I teach. Beyond the lessons I will have prepared, I must be ready to answer students' questions and realize that all the background information that builds upon that lesson. I may need to research the topic beyond what is provided for me in the textbook or manual. Whether it be melodies or mathematical equations, literature or life sciences, student teachers are always lifelong learners in their area. You, as cooperating teachers, will be yet another resource for us as we uncover more about what we love to investigate and what we hope to teach.
Standard number 2 is based in student growth and development. The teacher understands how children with a broad range of abilities learn to provide instruction that supports their intellectual, social, and personal development. When I join you in your classroom, I will be able to absorb everything you say, do, and feel about the children in front of you each day. Your experience with students over the years will provide me with a better understanding of how child development impacts the learning environment. I will want to help you create a richer environment and may have some new ideas of my own to add to a lesson. It will be valuable for me to work with individual students, supporting each one academically and personally to become the best they can be. I think it will be important for us to discuss individual students and their learning. Your insights into the struggles and successes will enlighten my knowledge about how they grow and develop. Your knowledge, experience, and perspective on children's learning will contribute to the development of my understanding of this standard.
Knowledge of diverse learners is the third standard. It states, the teacher understands how pupils differ in their approaches to learning and the barriers that impede learning and can adapt instruction to meet the diverse needs of pupils, including those with disabilities and exceptionalities. Just as no two students look and behave the same, they do not learn and think the same. In addition to planning lessons, I will need to learn how to adapt lessons as I plan. How do I respond to the varied needs of learners? What background and interests do the students have that influence their learning? Your assistance in providing accommodations or modifications for learners with disabilities will support me as I learn to create multiple lessons within a lesson. Now, as a teacher, I need to be aware of any injustice or discrimination that any student may be experiencing. It is part of my job to protect students from discrimination in learning. I will need to review materials and resources to be sure that students can relate to real-life examples in the material presented. There are many ways that you can guide me to broaden my perspective beyond the skill that I am teaching.
Standard number 4 is all about instructional strategies. It states, the teacher understands and uses a variety of instructional strategies, including the use of technology to encourage children's development of critical thinking, problem solving, and performance skills. In preparation for teaching, we have been observing and practicing various instructional strategies. Our professors have presented research-based best practice teaching techniques to us in our classrooms. We have been out in schools observing quality educators in their day-to-day teaching, and we have had some opportunities to teach unit lessons during our practicum experiences. Now we will continue that practice under your expert guidance. In your classroom, I will have opportunities to teach sequential lessons in mathematics and encourage each learner in the classroom. I am sure that I will have to come up with new ideas and strategies for those students who do not fully comprehend the first time. I may need to watch your techniques in problem solving with the class and then give it a try myself in another lesson. I may need to review the types of questions I ask when I am guiding classroom discussion and create a better list of questions for the next day. All of these exercises will strengthen my instructional strategies.
Standard number 5, classroom management, states that the teacher uses an understanding of individual and group motivation and behavior to create a learning environment that encourages positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. I will begin my experience with you feeling certain that I am capable of handling most any classroom situation. And you, as an experienced teacher, may smile knowingly watching as I encounter that zealous, full-of-life student during the first week. I want to create a positive classroom climate and will work to establish clear guidelines for classroom behavior as I present myself as a teacher. I know that keeping students engaged is key. As I work through management of a classroom, I will want to discuss different situations with you. I will watch as you model different techniques with individual students or the entire class. I may try to replicate that model or follow a process that closely resembles your style. I might also need to try to tweak it into my own. In the end, I hope to carry with me a toolbox of strategies for creating a safe environment where time is spent on learning instead of discipline.
Standard number 6, communication techniques. The teacher uses effective verbal and nonverbal communication techniques, as well as instructional media and technology to foster active inquiry, collaboration, and supportive interaction in the classroom. When you see me teach in your classroom, you will observe my appropriate use of the English language in both written and verbal expression, and will see me show students the importance of speaking and writing effectively in the ways that I monitor and encourage all of their communication activities. When I give instructions to students, I will be clear and informative and be able to give good oral directions as well as written directions. I will work to foster positive class discussions and may bring media examples into my lessons to help encourage the importance of good communication skills. I will observe you in the classroom demonstrating effective ways to communicate with students and will ask questions about your communication techniques. I may incorporate your techniques with those that I have been studying in my own classes and develop my own style of communication in the classroom.
Standard number 7, instructional planning. The teacher organizes and plans systematic instruction based upon knowledge of subject matter, pupils, the community, and curriculum goals. When I begin to teach in your classroom, you can expect complete university lesson plans to be submitted to you a minimum of 1 day in advance of the class that I will be teaching. I will research the topics that I plan to teach so that I can be creative in my lesson planning. My goal will be to use a variety of materials, technology, and instructional methods, because I want to be aware of different ways that students learn and keep all students engaged in the topics that I am teaching. We will discuss together the long-term curriculum goals of the subject matter, and I will plan my lessons to support those goals. I would like us to work together to help me improve areas of lesson planning in which I need extra practice to discuss instructional methods that are appropriate for each class. I may even have new, exciting ideas to share with you, and you may want to incorporate the new ideas into your lesson planning in the future.
Standard number 8, assessment strategies, states the teacher understands and uses formal and informal assessment strategies to evaluate and ensure the continuous intellectual, social, and physical development of the pupil. I know that one of the most important parts of teaching is the knowledge with which students leave the classroom. In order for me to understand what the students in the classroom have learned, I will place many different types of formative and summative assessment strategies into my lesson plans. I may formally walk around the classroom while students work, checking their understanding of a topic, or may have students look at each other's work to get feedback. I know that planned lessons may have to change based on the amount of student understanding of a topic, and I will work to be ready for that. I will also use formal evaluations, like tests, to get a feel of what the students know. Since you will be observing the class while I teach, I want to work with you to improve my ability to see what the students understand while I am teaching, and I would like to observe you assessing the students as well. In the beginning of the placement, we can work together to be thorough in our assessment of students and as I become more comfortable in my role as a teacher, I will want to try new ideas from my own education background in your classroom.
Standard number 9, reflective practitioner. The teacher is a reflective practitioner who continually evaluates the effect of his or her choices and actions on pupils, parents, professionals in the learning community, and others, and who actively seeks out opportunities to grow professionally. Since I am a student myself and have had only limited experiences teaching in a classroom, I know that as I am learning, I will bring personal strengths to the classroom. I am also aware that I will have areas in my teaching that I can improve on, and my desire is to recognize my strengths and weaknesses and to continue to improve my abilities as an educator. I will work to evaluate myself after each teaching and planning experience to see where I can change and grow as a teacher. Reflections are a part of the student teaching experience, and I will use them to work with you and my university supervisor. Teaching is an ever-changing profession, and I understand that learning to identify growth areas in my teaching will help me to improve in the rest of my career. You can expect me to discuss my teaching experiences with you daily, asking for support, ideas, and ways to grow and learn from your classroom. My goal is to be the best teacher possible, and I will look to you for guidance in areas where I have questions. I would like to create a plan to change my weaknesses into ways to strengthen my teaching style and to begin the process of becoming a lifelong learner.
Standard number 10, positive relationships, states, the teacher fosters relationships with school colleagues, parents, and agencies in the larger community to support pupil learning and well-being, and who acts with integrity and fairness in an ethical manner. Included with my experience in your classroom, I will want to learn to be a part of the school as a whole. For example, I will attend teacher meetings with you and will work at parent-teacher conferences. If the school has an event in which your class is involved, I will attend that event and work to support it in the same way as any other teacher in the school would. I would like a chance to meet other teachers in the school and to get a sense of the relationships that teacher colleagues have. The goal of a teacher should be to better their school and their classroom, so I will work to do the same while part of your class. I will expect that you, as my cooperating teacher and my university supervisor, will work with me in these goals and make suggestions about ways in which I can improve. You can expect me to do my best to implement those suggestions into my own teaching and into your classroom.
Standard number 11, character and faith development. The teacher models a value system which emphasizes moral and ethical character. The Lutheran school teacher integrates faith and learning while modeling Christian mission and service according to the doctrines and teachings of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. This standard shows who I am as a person and allows me to work on my role as an example of good character for your students. You should see that I am a person of good moral and ethical character, and you will find me to be trustworthy and dependable. Students can count on me to fulfill my responsibilities as a teacher and solve classroom difficulties in an ethical way. In a Christian school setting, I will demonstrate my faith not only during a religion class, but throughout the day, since I know that my faith is a part of my whole life and not only one class. The mission of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod will be my guide in teaching your class, and I will live by its teaching. Your students should be able to see a faith in me that will help them build their own relationship with Jesus.
Your willingness to be a cooperating teacher is appreciated by Concordia University, Wisconsin, and the state of Wisconsin. There's a need for high-performing teachers in our state. Your student teacher will probably teach a lot like you. You are a positive force in building an educational community. From everyone in the School of Education here at Concordia, God bless your cooperating teacher experience. When you have completed the questionnaire that came with this video, please return the questionnaire to the Office of Field Experience at Concordia University, Wisconsin. The address is 12800 North Lakeshore Drive, Mequon, Wisconsin, 53097. When the video and questionnaire have been returned, we will document completion of this requirement for student teaching supervision. Thank you for your time.